turns 3 and 4. Down to the chalk stripe. We're green for 30 laps here at Sycamore. Even start between the top two. Nienhiser goes low through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Blackhurst. Blackhurst up around the outside of the 9X off of turn number 2. Paul Nienhiser gaps the 96 down the back straightaway. Joe B. Miller settling into the third spot. Kyle Schuett into fourth already in the 9K. Paul Nienhiser leads lap number 1. Blackhurst now to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Nienhiser up on the top. Joe B. Miller all over the 96 off of turn number 2, but Blackhurst gets a good run. Got a run on Nienhiser down the back straightaway. Joe B. goes to the top of turns 3 and 4, looking for a run on the top 2. Miller has found something. Off of turn number 4, keeps pace with the top 2. The top and the bottom very even right now at the start of this 30-lap feature. Here comes Blackhurst. Powers off the bottom, down the back straightaway. The 96 looking for the lead through turns 3 and 4. Nienhiser up on the top. Blackhurst off of the bottom. Paul Nienhiser going to keep the lead. Nienhiser chops the nose off the 96. Opens up the top lane for Joe B. Miller. Going to be a 3-car race for the lead if things hold as they are. Nienhiser to the top at turns 3 and 4. Blackhurst back to the bottom in the 96. Nienhiser diamonds off of the corner. Gaps the 96 down the front straightaway, but here comes Joe B. Miller. Miller to the outside of Blackhurst through turns 1 and 2. Kyle Schuett closing in as the yellow flag flies. Car slowing on the front straightaway. Looks like a flat right rear on the 65 of Jordan Goldsberry, and the 25T of Travis Aaron stopped in turn number 4 as well. And we get a replay for those of you watching at home on Flow Racing. So Bryce Norris sliding up in front. Oh, Travis Aaron slowed off of turn number 4, and Jordan Goldsberry just nowhere to go in the number 65. Just coming there with a full head of steam. Oh, and the right rear's broke. 4 laps complete, 26 remain for Paul Nienhiser. Off of turn number 4, we're back green. Good restart from Nienhiser. Blackhurst going to try and dive low, but Nienhiser sends the block. Blackhurst slides up in front of Joe B. Miller. Here comes Kyle Schuett. Schuett to the second spot. Off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Kyle Schuett into the podium spots in the Progressive Propane number 9K. Here comes Blackhurst back up and around the outside of the 9K, though, down the front straightaway through turns 1 and 2. Schuett, though, pulls the 96 down the back straightaway. Nienhiser to the top through turns 3 and 4. Has about a 10-car length gap on the 9K as they work off of turn number 4. We'll check the gap this time by and check it the next time by. 1.8 seconds between Paul Nienhiser and Kyle Schuett, but here comes Jake Blackhurst again. Blackhurst off of turn number 2, trying to pull even with the 9K down the back straightaway. Schuett drifts up the racetrack to block. Blackhurst back to the top through turns 3 and 4. Nienhiser appears to be extending his advantage at the front of the field as Blackhurst back to the second spot at the line. 2.6 seconds. Paul Nienhiser is on rails in the number 9X. Elijah Guile and Danny Schlafer running side by side right in front of him, but he has a massive lead over Jake Blackhurst and Kyle Schuett. Nienhiser down the back straightaway, negotiates the 25 of Danny Schlafer, goes back to the top through turns 3 and 4. He had a 4-second lead when he entered lap traffic. We'll see what it is this time by at the line. Jake Blackhurst back to the second spot, Kyle Schuett still in third, Joe B. Miller fourth. John Bernard not able to make any inroads. That time by, Kyle Schuett and Jake Blackhurst took a full second out of Paul Nienhiser for the lead. PSG, baby, please stay green. This one could get good in the closing laps here. Schuett again back to the inside of Blackhurst. They've been side by side for about 15 laps, and now Schuett pulls ahead very slightly off of turn number 2. Blackhurst chops the nose off the 9K through turns 3 and 4. Schuett, though, back to the inside. Blackhurst through the middle. Kyle Schuett back to the second spot at the line. And they are both closing in on Paul Nienhiser, who's now got passed by Danny Schlafer. Blackhurst again tries to chop Schuett through turns 3 and 4, but Schuett muscles his way back to the inside. The 9K back to second. They close in on Nienhiser again. Shades of Spoon River last year for the 9K of Kyle Schuett, who overtook Nienhiser for a MOA Sprint car win late in that race. He's trying to do the same thing again off of turn number 4. The lead last time was 1.2 seconds. It's down to 1 second flat. Kyle Schuett and Jake Blackhurst closing in on Paul Nienhiser. 13 laps to go that time by. This time by, it's going to be 12 to go for Paul Nienhiser in the 9X. Following Danny Schlafer around the bottom of the Sycamore Speedway. Schuett all over the tail tank of the 9X through turns 1 and 2. I'd have to say there's definitely rubber at the bottom of the racetrack now, but this is where it can get interesting in traffic. Nienhiser needs to stay patient behind the 25 of Danny Schlafer, wait for a mistake, I'm not even sure if he knows Schuett is there. Schuett has not showed the nose to the 9X just yet. Gets on the hip of Danny Schleifer down the front straightaway. Schuett gonna need to clear the 25 as well, but he can't. So now Nienhiser with a lap car in between himself and Kyle Schuett. The top 5 as they run: Paul Nienhiser, Kyle Schuett, Jake Blackhurst, Joby Miller, and John Bernard, with Logan Julian, Scotty Milan, and Blake Niemi into the top 10 as well. Nienhiser clears about 3 lap cars down the back straightaway. Puts Garrett, Guile, and Spitz by the wayside. Meanwhile, Joby Miller past Jake Blackhurst, back up into the 3rd spot. Jake Blackhurst 4th, John Bernard right there. They almost make contact. 2 laps to go for Paul Nienhiser. Oh, yellow flag gonna fly. Matt Vanderveer in the 10V doing a 360 spin with just 2 laps to go. And off of turn number 4, green-white checker to finish it at Sycamore. That's exactly what Nienhiser does. There goes Joby Miller trying something on the top, stuffs it into the cushion. He might lose 3rd, but he actually gains on Schuett down the back straightaway. Joby Miller chops the nose off the 9K. Off of turn number 4, the white flag flies. 1 lap to go for Paul Nienhiser. Miller down to the bottom, protects the 2nd spot from Schuett. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Through turns 3 and 4. An 8-year-long drought is over. Paul Nienhiser is back in IRA victory lane. Joby Miller in 2nd. Kyle Schuett in 3rd. Jake Blackhurst 4th. John Bernard in 5th. Logan Julian, Scotty Milan, Blake Niemi, Clayton Rossman, and Jake Newman round out the top 10.
I was told it's your first IRA feature win since 2017. And I know you said earlier in the night multiple times, you just had to do your job. I think you did your job.
Yeah, man, these guys never gave up on me. Like I said, I was pretty down on myself after qualifying. We've always had a really good race car. Scott, Caleb, Zoom, Weston, my wife Reagan, and kids. I want to say hi to my mom and dad back home. Everybody in Jacksonville tuned in on Flow. Yeah, just one of those races. It's not something I'm good at. I told you that earlier, but thankfully made some good choices before I found some rubber there and just tried to get in line, not make any mistakes. And you're right, it's been a long time since we won an IRA race. I feel like we should have won plenty since then. We don't race that many either. So thanks to all our guys: Cam Tube Lubricants, MB Heating and Cooling, Buffalo Wild Wings, Morrow Brothers Ford, Innovative Design, Dropped Mobile, Haverfield Construction, American Rental, Bradshaw Custom Pumping, Mason Sound. I'm forgetting guys, I know. I'm just really happy to cap off our weekend. That makes it 2 for 2 for us. Like I said, this is just what racing's all about.